I recently went on a trip, and of course I brought my Switch, to kill time and whatnot. And the game I mostly played was Metroid Dread, which was my second playthrough. And while playing, something popped in my head. Where in the bloody hell is Metroid Prime 4? Metroid Prime 4 was announced all the way back in 2017, and that John still hasn't released. In fact, we haven't even got a gameplay trailer. Nintendo did release a little teaser last year, but still the game is nowhere to be found. Apparently it's coming out this year, but let's be real, it's not. Thinking about Metro Prime 4 made my mind go down a rabbit hole. Thinking about all the other IPs and franchises that Nintendo kinda honestly just abandoned. Because let's be real, if you're not Mario or Pokemon, Nintendo will prioritize you less. And that's what I'm talking about today. Forgotten Nintendo franchises that need to make a comeback. Starting with Star Fox. Things that one of the most played Smash characters hasn't had a game in close to 9 years is actually insane. The last real and new Star Fox game was in 2016 and honestly wasn't even good. But a lot of people wouldn't know this because it was released on the Wii U and no one had a Wii U. Honestly, Star Fox Zero wasn't a good game. The gamepad made the game hell. Technically, I guess you could say that Star Fox Zero isn't the latest Star Fox game because Star Fox 2 was released in 2019 on the Super NES Classic. And honestly, I don't care what no one says. Star Fox 2 does not count as a new Star Fox game. If you didn't know, Star Fox 2 was a canceled game from all the way back when the Super Nintendo was the current console. Nintendo then decided to release the canceled Star Fox 2 on the SNES Classic. So technically it is a new game, but technically it's not. I mean, it's new to us, like the audience, but it's not like a new game for the Switch or anything. But bro, we need a new Star Fox game. It's about to go on 10 years without a new game. And honestly, I thought we were going to get one on the Switch, but the Switch life cycle is coming to an end. So hopefully we can get one on the Switch too. But honestly, I don't see this happening. Let's be real. Speaking about not happening, I honestly see Nintendo never making another game connected to this franchise. Because honestly, the gameplay could be seen as outdated, even though I love these games. Nintendo should have made another Punch Out game a long time ago. Like, I seriously think that the best time for Nintendo to release another Punch Out game was like in 2016, like 2015, like when the 3DS was still relevant. Even though that was pretty far back now, it would have been better that than knowing that we're never gonna get another Punch Out game. Dude, the last Punch Out game was released in 2009 on the Wii. Let that sink in. We haven't got a new Punch Out game in 15 years. And honestly, I think we should just consider the possibility that this gaming series is dead. The gameplay of Punch Out is too simple for Nintendo to release a whole new game for it. Like, the game, honestly, at the end of the day, is just patterns and recognizing those patterns. Maybe, just maybe, I can see Nintendo releasing like a Punch Out 99, like Tetris 99, something like along those lines, but it's not enough. Like, seriously, the only level of relevance that Punch Out even has is Little Mac being in Smash. Even then, no one is playing Little Mac in Smash. He's trash. So honestly, this franchise right now is just super irrelevant, and I would consider it dead. And this is another franchise that I don't see Nintendo ever making another game for. Maybe like a remaster or something, but like never a new game. I'm talking about Earthbound, Our Mother, or whatever you want to call it. This game is so incredibly goated. I'm not even lying. And this game still still has a pretty decent sized audience. Because when Earthbound was released via Virtual Console on the Wii U, there was a large uproar and hype. I remember when Earthbound was released on the 3DS by the Virtual Console, I was begging my mom to get it, and I didn't even know what Earthbound was. Even if it was on the Wii U, people were talking about this. So you would think that Nintendo would see this and start trying to, do more with the series. But nah, they did nothing. The latest game released from Mother slash Earthbound series was all the way back on the GBA in 2006. And from what I heard, Mother 3 was a banger. I didn't play it, so I can't reinforce the statement, but I'm inclined to believe it. It's been almost 2 decades since the last game in the series, and if we're being real, Nintendo is never touching this franchise again. However, I do think that there's a slightest chance Nintendo could remaster or make an Earthbound game, but then making a whole new game entirely is completely out the question. I think it's more likely for Nintendo to release a new Banjo-Kazooie than make a new Earthbound. Let's be real. Now, this is the last game on the list, and this is the game where I could possibly see Nintendo bringing back, and that being F-Zero. And yes, I know that F-Zero 99 was released for the Nintendo Switch, but let's be real, that doesn't count. I'm talking about a full feature game. Honestly, right now, or a few years back, would have been a perfect time for Nintendo to release a new F-Zero game. Like, looking back at those first F-Zero games, they were so ahead of their time. And I was fully expecting for a new F-Zero game to be released on the Switch. I know it's super unlikely for Nintendo to release a new racing game in the modern era because, Mario Kart is dominating everything. That's why I think they should have released a good. They should have released F-Zero, like a new one, a while back. It would have been a good time to release it because the Switch 2 is having a new Mario Kart, and that new Mario Kart is 100% going to dominate the racing genre on the Switch. This might be my hottest take, but I seriously fully believe that a new F-Zero game will come out in the first couple of years on the Switch 2. I really do think that this is gonna happen. I really have no proof or evidence for me to have this intuition, but I don't know. I just have this feeling it's gonna happen. Now, before I end this little rant video, I want to do something. I want to do some honorable mentions because there are so many franchises Nintendo has abandoned. Starting with Ice Climbers. If you really think about it, a modern Ice Climber game would be a banger. Chibi-Robo. After Nintendo held the fate of the franchise in the hands of the latest Chibi-Robo game, Ziplash, which was the worst game I ever played in my life, the franchise is presumed dead. But a new game in the style of the first game, or the original game, would be great. And the last honorable mention is Kid Icarus. I'm telling you, a new Kid Icarus game would be fire. We're long overdue for a new game, and I honestly could see a new game coming out soon. Honestly, Nintendo has so many untouched franchises and IPs that they could start making banger games. Like I said before, if you're not Pokemon Mario, Nintendo will put you on the back burner. Those are just a few franchises I think Nintendo should bring back. It's a different type of video. It was honestly just a rant. If you want more videos like this, let me know.